Hello YouTube, this is Bowtied Media, and today I have an album review of Diplo presents Thomas Wesley, Chapter 1, Snake Oil. The EDM giant that is Diplo is out with his second album now. He's produced a lot of other projects and tracks and EPs and other albums with a ton of other collaborators and as a producer behind the scenes, but this is Diplo's second pretty much individual album. In terms of his other projects, he's worked on big things such as Jack U, Major Lazer, LSD, and even more. Over the years, he's sort of become a force to be reckoned with in terms of the EDM industry, and any track with his name associated with it has always been a big hit. But after his first full-length album in 2004 with Florida, Diplo has since come after 16 years and created this second album, which is a very interesting creative detour from what Diplo has produced in any capacity. The mouthful album name that is Diplo presents Thomas Wesley Chapter 1 Snake Oil is a country album, supposedly, that Diplo has created, marketed, and I guess produced. A lot of the advertising that went into it claimed that this was a purely country album, that there was going to be a lot of country names on it and influences, and Diplo pretty much stated that this is going to be a new direction that he's going to be taking his sound. But before we get into the tracks, I kind of need to break down this title a little bit. I'm a little confused by why the title is this way. So any, I guess, regular person that didn't know Diplo's real name would assume Diplo presents Thomas Wesley as this new country album would be a new persona per se for the character of Thomas Wesley, where Diplo now plays this character and produces under this kind of name. But that's not the case because Thomas Wesley is actually Diplo's real name. And so the fact that it's Diplo presents Thomas Wesley is kind of a backwards title in some sense, where it should in reality be Diplo as Thomas Wesley presents Thomas Wesley. And it's just a kind of strange backwards title. It's almost like Diplo has always wanted to be a country music producer, and now that he's created Diplo, this EDM producer type genre that's kind of locked into that area, he's like, I want to go back to my roots, I guess, per se. And he's like, I want to do country, and my name's going to be associated with country now. The second part of the title I want to focus on is the idea of snake oil. And snake oil is actually a term for a kind of medical something substance that actually provides no real medical value. So you're given something and you're told that this is supposed to work and it really has no value at all. Not even a placebo, where a placebo actually can have some benefits for you. It's something that just has absolutely no effect whatsoever. And I think that idea of snake oil is actually perfect for this album, because this album offers really nothing when it says it gives a lot. Everything about this album feels fake. It feels like a snake oil. The length of the album and project is really, really short. If you take out the last two tracks, which are pretty much just repackaged versions of an earlier song and his remix of Old Town Road, it's only 26 minutes long, which is very, very short for, I guess, an EDM project or any project in general. The title just feels weird, and the fact that they marketed this solely as a country genre album is far from what it actually is. As there is a very country-esque intro in the first track, Intro, featuring Orville Peck, there really doesn't seem to be a thematic coherence as the album goes on. Just 4 songs in with Lonely, with the Jonas Brothers, there pretty much is no country in sight. The Jonas Brothers aren't a country group, and Diplo isn't a country group, and the track has no really resemblance of country music at all. It just feels like your basic kind of pop, like electro dance kind of pop dance song. The biggest issue I think I have with this project is that it doesn't stick to anything, and it's repetitive, and it's boring, and it's uninspiring, and it's uninteresting. Just nothing is happening in this album. It feels like it's just, 12 tracks kind of put together, and there's no real maybe some of this is going to be country and some of this is more electronic, but we're going to have country producers and singers come and they're going to be on this album, so it's definitely a country album. And I don't know why, again, the Jonas Brothers are on this album, Young Thug, hello, what's happening? I think this album could have easily been identified as a Western-themed album, where you kind of get that more cowboy country vibes to it, but is still an electronic music album and production and as a whole. But instead, they marketed this as this purely country project, which it really, really is not. This album is pretty much just a straightforward Diplo project with more acoustic guitar, more twang, and the standard country lyrics that you hear in any pop country song. I think adding the Old Town Road remix to the end of this album is actually a perfect statement and finale for this album, because it felt like Diplo created that Old Town Road remix and then went, oh my gosh, Lil Nas is fusing country and EDM together, and I can totally do it too. And since then has like been, this is brilliant, I'm gonna do it myself as well. And considering that Old Town Road didn't come out that long ago, I really truly believe that this entire album was inspired and based off of that one singular song. There's enough time between the first release of Old Town Road, even Diplo's remix, and this project to be a standard timeline for an entire EDM country album to be produced. I don't really have beef with all the individual songs. I think they're okay, they're meh. Like I said earlier, they're uninteresting, they're uninspiring. But the one song I really have trouble with is Do-Si Do. So Do-Si Do has lyrics from Blanco Brown, and I would just not listen to the song in general. I think this is the weirdest thing that you would hear in a long time. You know when you're kind of somewhere and someone jokingly whispers into your ear something almost like seductive and they're trying to get a funny response out of you? That feels like this is the entire song, where it's just someone's just messing with you and whispering into your ear this weird stuff that you're just like, why are you even saying this? The entire track feels like that. I think overall it's really sad to see such a prominent EDM figure in Diplo create something that's so bad as this. This album was purely for the money grab, purely to extend Diplo's name and his kind of, I guess, clout in one area or another, and show that, hey, I can be more mainstream and more widespread than he already is. Entirely basing his electronic music now on country music and the idea that I have this whole new fan base. With the project, he had the intention to bring in all these country names and even some other really big names like the Jonas Brothers and Young Thug, when they have nothing to do with country in general. Going back to that song with the Jonas Brothers, I think it's a perfect representation of what the album really is. The Snake Oil. That, I guess it's the second most popular song on the album rather than Heartless, and the fact that this song with Diplo and Jonas Brothers that's packaged as a country album is nowhere close to country, and it looks like it, and it's marketed as it, and it's just a regular kind of pop dance song. Even though this is chapter 1 of Diplo Presents Thomas Wesley Snake Oil, I really hope we don't see a second chapter, and I hope with the way that reviews are coming in already that there won't be a second chapter, that Diplo's going to go back to what he normally does, and that is producing some pretty solid and monumental electronic music tracks. But yeah, overall, I give this album a 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more content from me, click the links right there, and subscribe if you want to subscribe, see more content like this, and I would love if you liked it to leave a like. But yeah, I will see you guys in another video.